Hello everyone, welcome to Mathematics Meal. This is a program that is designed to help students in the study of this beautiful and lovely subject we call mathematics. Yes, it's of a truth, mathematics is beautiful because it is a subject that will help you explore a lot of things in life. Mathematics Meal is a wonderful program, and if you continue to watch Mathematics Meal, definitely your life will be transformed mathematically. Today on Mathematics Meal, we're going to look at plane geometry 1. And plane geometry is a very broad topic, so we have decided to divide it into plane geometry 1 and plane geometry 2. So we'll look at part 1 of it today, and then subsequently we'll now look at the second part of plane geometry. Now, do well to like our Facebook page on Mathematics Meal and our YouTube channel on Mathematics Meal 1. It's very important. Just subscribe to that YouTube channel and then talk about it. Recommend the channel for people, as many as you can. Okay, like we used to do generally when we want to treat any topic, we usually begin with the word objectives. And the objectives are the areas that we need to cover in the course of studying what a particular topic. So as far as plane geometry 1 is concerned, at the end of the study, the students will know the following. 1, meaning of geometry. Students will know about straight lines. Students will know angles and types of angles. Then we move on to look at relationship between straight lines and what? Angles. And then finally, we look at calculations of angles on lines. All right. Without taking much of your time, let's start with the first objective, meaning of what? Of angles. Meaning of geometry. That's our first objective, meaning of geometry. Okay. Now, geometry is with us. In your sitting room, there is geometry. It's possible that what you are wearing actually, your dress is geometrically designed. Yeah. We see geometry all over the environment. All over the environment. The earrings that our ladies wear, some of them are circular, some of them are triangular, some of them are even wearing the cubical or the conical ones. So that's geometry. That's geometry. Shapes, angles, and lines. So all these are geometry. We see lines every day. We talk about angles every day. Those that are watching football, they say, oh, he played that ball, he wanted to score a goal, he played it at angle 90. Or even in watching of football, we apply the knowledge of geometry. Even to score a goal, the striker will also need to use the knowledge of geometry to know how to bend the ball, the angle at which we play the ball, so that the goalkeeper will not be able to catch it. So you see, someone that is playing football can actually apply the knowledge of mathematics while trying to play football. Very important. Even when you are seated in your parlor, in the sitting room, and you want to watch television, you know, most of us, we know where to position ourselves, the angle that we need to sit at, so that we can actually see the television properly. Some will sit by the side, they say, I'm not seeing this, because you are sitting at a particular angle. So you now sit down geometrically in order to see the television properly. All right. So we know about geometry because we have everything about geometry around us in our environment. So, but let's define it mathematically. We say that geometry is the branch of mathematics. The branch of mathematics that studies lines, angles, and shapes. So that aspect of mathematics that studies lines, angles, and shapes is the aspect of maths, or the branch of maths we call what? Geometry. You see that we use these terms from time to time. Oh, my friend, start walking on a straight line. You don't even know you are actually asking somebody to walk geometrically. Yes. You say, look at the shape of your head. You don't even know that you are trying to insert someone geometrically. So you see, we use geometry on a daily basis. Then in the field of engineering, in the field of medicine, and in other field of study, we apply the knowledge of geometry. To build a house, the knowledge of geometry is important. To construct, to design machine parts of various machines that we use in industries, definitely the knowledge of geometry is very, very important. And that's why students that want to venture into any aspect of study need to know about what? Geometry. All right, so we believe that you have mastered the definition. You now know the definition of geometry as an aspect of mathematics, or the branch of mathematics that studies lines, angles, and what? And shapes. Now, three things that we'll be looking at: lines, angles, and shapes. But in geometry 1, our interest will be on lines and what? Angles only. Then in geometry 2, we now begin to consider shapes. So let's move to the second objective and talk about straight lines. Straight lines. Straight lines. What is a straight line? What is a straight line? We say that a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. The shortest distance between 2 points, that's what we mean by what? A straight line. So if I have a point here, I have another point here, let's say this point A, this point B. The shortest distance between these 2 points, that's a straight line. That's a straight line. All right. Now this straight line, a straight line can occur in different forms. Different forms. A straight line can be in different forms. Yes, straight lines, they can be in different forms. So a straight line or straight lines can be in different forms, such as horizontal lines, vertical lines, inclined lines, or perpendicular lines, intersecting lines, parallel lines, and transversal lines. So all these lines I mentioned, they are all straight lines. Now, let's use this part of the board. I believe you have written down the objectives of this study. So let's use this part of the board. All these are lines that we are going to actually illustrate now. So we have this. This is what we mean by horizontal line. Line like this is horizontal. A line like this is tandem. It's a vertical line. Lines like that, these ones are called inclined lines. Then we have perpendicular line. When two lines form angle 90 degrees, we call them perpendicular lines. Okay, we have intersecting line. A perpendicular line is intersecting when two lines intersect. This is also another intersecting line. Intersecting lines. Now we have parallel lines. Parallel lines. Of this. These ones are parallel lines. Then we can have a transversal. Let me illustrate a transversal line. This one now is transversal line. A line that crosses parallel lines. is called what? A transversal line. So horizontal line, vertical line, inclined line. Then we have perpendicular lines. We talk about intersecting lines. Then we talk about parallel lines, and we talk about transversal lines. Now, we need to actually take note of this again. The short form. Let's say note. The short form used in representing lines is to draw a bar on top of the points that form the line. Thus, line AB is written as this. So when I said line AB is something as this, so this means line AB. So like this line now, this is line AB. So when we see this in geometry, we know that we are talking about what line. So this line AB, if it is line XY, it's going to be this. If it is line PQ, it's going to be this. Line MN. Instead of using line, I will just draw this bar on top of the 2 points that formed the what? The line. Okay, that's taken. Now let's say a few things before we end this episode. Let's say a few things about some lines. We are conversant with this, but some are yet to know about this and transversal lines. So let's say a few things about perpendicular lines. 2 lines are perpendicular if they meet at right angle. Right angle is 90 degrees. So when 2 lines meet at right angle, the lines are said to be what? Perpendicular. That's one. 2 lines are parallel if they will not, let's say 2 or more lines, because we can have more than 2 lines. So we say 2 or more lines are parallel if they will not meet or intersect. They will not meet or intersect when produced in the same direction. The same direction. So we have this. If you continue to draw this line and draw this one, they will never intersect. So the lines are parallel. We'll give examples. Then we'll say a transversal line is a line drawn across parallel lines. Like this is a transversal. This line is crossing parallel lines. Parallel lines. Usually indicate parallel lines by arrow. That's what we use to indicate parallel lines. So when we draw a parallel line, we use arrow. The number of arrows will show us the lines that are actually parallel. For example, if we look at this figure now, let's draw these figures now. So I have A, B. I put this. I have C, D. I put this. Then I have this. Then I have that. I put this. Now, if you look at this, we have one arrow here, one arrow here. We have two here, we have two here. That means this line and this one are parallel. So I can say that line, remember the short form for representing lines, line AB is parallel. This thing means parallel. So instead of speaking the grammar is parallel, I can just do this. Line AB is parallel to line what? Line CD. So line AB is parallel to line CD. While line EF is parallel to line G. This is G. Line GH. So when you see this in mathematics, it means parallel. So line AB is parallel. Instead of saying is parallel, I can just use this to represent it because we use a lot of short forms. Line AB is parallel to line CD and line EF is parallel to line what? GH. How? The arrow here is 1, 1, 2, 2. So the number of arrows, if they are equal, it means that the two lines are actually what? Parallel. Even though we know that there is no way this line will be parallel to this line because already they are intersecting. They are intersecting. We know that parallel lines do not intersect. They will not meet when produced in the same direction. All right. We're going to go on a break, and when we return, we are going to look at the next objective. And that objective is to talk about angles and types of angles. Before we now start looking at relationship between angles and straight lines. Don't go too far. You can rewind this video, play it again until you have taken note of the necessary points that are involved in this introductory part of plane geometry 1. Thank you and God bless you.